Finally. Our lovely exchange is almost finished. The theory about Charlie's death is out, and we've nearly gone 7 whole months without another FNAF book. Maybe I'll finally have time to read that bendy theory about the genetic experimentation. Heck, maybe even FNAF 6 Simplified. After all, it doesn't look like we'll be getting 5 laps of Freddy's anytime soon. That's right, we finally have some FNAF news with, at the time of writing, 2 Steelwool Spot the Difference teasers. First being a swimming pool, and the second featuring a display of sunglasses. I'll get to what I think these teasers are leading up to later on in the video, but let's dissect them one at a time first, starting with the pool. No secrets, no hidden clues, no teaser, no countdown. Just 3 differences. Probably. How fast can you spot them? The 3 differences are the chicken floating in the pool changing direction, the bottom right ring in the rightmost stack changing from a light blue to a dark blue, and one of the hens hanging on the wall disappearing completely. Almost like Fiona, one of the 4 original creators behind the Fazbear brand, disappearing, with the chicken symbolizing her connection to Chica the Chicken. That's a joke, by the way, unless I'm right, in which case I'm deadly serious and I told you so. As you can see, it's a fairly generic indoor swimming pool, and judging by the state of the tiles, this location has been open for some time. There's 4 types of pool floaties hanging on the wall, which will be important later on, although I do want to mention now that I've seen some people comparing them to clocks since they're circular and on a wall, but at least in my experience, this is actually fairly normal. A lot of swimming pools I've been to have these kind of pool floaties hanging on the wall. Admittedly, they normally have them by reception since you have to purchase them, but the idea of pool floaties hanging on a wall isn't out of the ordinary. Now, my first thoughts upon seeing this was, of course, Chica, specifically Fun Time with Chica and Glamrock Chica, due to the white hen floaties, as well as Submechanophobia, a short story from Tales from the Pizzaplex taking place at Freddy's Fantasy Water Park shortly after the opening of the Mega Pizzaplex. I also had this crackpot theory that maybe this pool has something to do with Captain Foxy's Pirate Adventure, due to the barrels and the coloration of the rings, possibly tying into each character on the poster. A chicken in water, representing Mermaid Chica, the only character actually touching the water in the poster, a red and light blue ring for Captain Foxy, whose coat is a light blue than his VR counterpart, and a darker blue and a brown ring for Freddy. However, that would leave the pink and green ring for Bonnie, which just doesn't work. That ring is actually reminiscent of Glamrock Chica's theming, matching her leg warmers. Not to mention that Captain Foxy's Pirate Adventure is in most likelihood an in-universe movie, as I believe you can only find that poster in the daycare theatre. Whilst I dismissed speculation around the pool floats being stand-in for clocks, I do want to bring up a theory by Kato Cardo and FNAFology, in which they use a combination of solutions to find the 4-digit code within the pool floaties. I won't be going over their full method here, so you'll have to watch their video yourself, which I'll link at the end of the video. But essentially, Kato Cardo and FNAFology took the idea that the floats on the walls symbolise clocks. They then used the handles on the floats as arrows, giving you a number for each ring. They took the bottom right hand disappearing to mean we should pay attention to the bottom right floats. Using the order of the floats on the floor and one of them changing direction to reverse that order, they got the numbers 8, 12, 2, and 6. August 12th, 2026. Again, please go watch Kato Cardo's video to hear the proper explanation and how they got the code and their thoughts on what it could mean. But in the meantime, I think that August 12th is likely when Steelwool will be announcing what this project is. Whilst I hope we'll get a proper teaser trailer, I wouldn't be too surprised if the reveal will focus on one element, title drop, and maybe a jump scare, similar to what Steelwool did for Secret of the Mimic and Help Wanted 2. I also want to point out there's some green light reflected in the far corner, perhaps continuing the Pizzaplex connections from Glamrock Chica's floaties. The second teaser seems to be a lot more straightforward, as there really isn't anything that could form a code. The post reads, "A future so bright, you have to wear shades." The question is, can you spot the 3 differences? The differences are the blue sunglasses on the lower shelf changing from squarish to stars, the pink circular sunglasses on the wooden shelf tower changing to yellow, and the white circular glasses on the middle display rack turning orange. What's interesting is that this teaser seems to be following the security breach theming, seeing the yellow stars are just straight up Monty's glasses, no question about it. The 4 glasses laid out on the lower shelf also match up colour-wise to the Glamrocks, pink for Chica, blue for Roxy, or possibly Bonnie before it was decommissioned, orange for Freddy, and Monty's shades, of course, just being Monty. There's also a blue pair off to the side that's overlooking them, which seem to be a lighter shade than the pair in the lineup, although that might just be because of lighting. Regardless, if the four on the shelf symbolise the Glamrock band, I think the blue glasses off to the side would represent Glamrock Bonnie post-decommission, hidden in the back of Bonnie Bowl. But what about the actual location? Seeing the previous teaser was at a swimming pool, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the same location, possibly in an entrance or reception to said pool, seeing that we have more tiled walls which admittedly look a little out of place with the carpet. We don't really have enough information about this location to make a proper guess, but at the moment I think our two main options are a water park, similar to the Freddy's Fantasy Water Park from Submechanophobia, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, or possibly another Pizzaplex. It could be the same Pizzaplex from Security Breach at an earlier point in time, but I really don't know what they would be able to do with it story-wise. All that would really be going on would be Vanny sticking around doing Glitch Trap's bidding. Not that I don't want a game focused on Vanny, I would be first in line for a Vanny game. Maybe I'll do a video talking about my perfect Vanny game. Let me know if you'd be interested in the comments, I have quite a lot of ideas for that. And whilst you're down there, don't forget to hit subscribe. I wouldn't be surprised if these Spot the Difference teasers become a regular occurrence from Steelwool, upcoming to the August 12th release. To be honest, the only reason I even bring up the possibility of this being a Pizzaplex is because I have no idea what Steelwool could do with a water park or swimming pool based game. The Tales books had two stories with similar locations, namely Drowning and Submechanophobia, neither of which I found particularly scary. In fact, Drowning's horror was mostly in the idea that the main character Kara was trapped in a VR experience where time was slowed down significantly. So whilst in the real world Pizzaplex she's being left in VR for maybe 20 minutes or so, to Kara she's been in that water park experience for hours. All the while, Kara is being hunted by a girl who seems to have drowned and is determined to kill her. But hey, maybe the next FNAF game will be set at a swimming pool, or perhaps I am looking way too deep and we're just supposed to notice the Glamrocks and the next game is just going to focus on Chica. God knows my girl deserves her time in the spotlight. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my speculation. Let me know what you think this game will be about in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.